What's good, YouTube? What is good? Welcome to another Friday night sports talk here with my co-host and one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Mr. Socrates Palmer Jr. What's going on, my friend?
Salute, sir. TGIF.
You already know. You already know. Start a little late as usual. Uh, kind of my fault a little bit because I didn't set up properly and just trying to get a couple things here and there I wanted to lead off with. We talk sports all the time, but I want to also give a shout out to my boy Jose. My boy Jose at the Bronx Logo. He got a store coming up. They're working on now the Culture Gallery. You know what I'm saying? And he'll be up there in the Bronx. I probably when they do the opening, I plan on probably to go over there. Let me do a little video there real quick.
Be great to do the show from there.
It'd be good. We could do it there because they'll be up late too and stuff. You know what I mean? So. Hold on, let me see if this is it right now.
They never thought I'd be here to take it this far. Foot on the gas like I don't have no brakes on my car. Bar for bar, they trying to borrow my style. Forget next season, foot on their next season right now.
The Coaches Gallery. The Coaches Gallery. Listen, let me tell you something.
You came right on time. It says God's word.
Listen, hip-hop saviors from the ground up, nigga. If we don't know how to do nothing else, we know how to grind. And we ain't never going back to jail. And we saving the hip-hop. And we saving the communities. And we saving the babies. Hip-hop culture. If it ain't here, it ain't nowhere. The Coaches Gallery.
Yeah, that's my boy Jose. He got his, like I said, he's got his store. You know what I'm saying? He got the logo, the Bronx logo. You know what I'm saying? This is one of his hats. I'm a Bronx kid. I got it on. I got his hoodie, the Boogie Down Bronx. In the back, it's got a map of the subway map of the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So they got all sorts of stuff. He got the logo. If you look at the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see the Bronx logo. That's copyright. That's his. You know what I'm saying? And that's on, a bunch of, his merch and stuff. But hopefully I'm going to have him on the channel one day. Maybe I'll shoot. Like I said, I'm going to try to shoot on the opening, you know what I'm saying, and do that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give a shout out to my boy Jose, who gave me permission to use it. Here's a nice one in gold. I got another gold hoodie, Boogie Down Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple other stuff. But, I just wanted to start off with that. Let's see who's in the building real quick. We got a special guest in the building, my boy Carl, that old Black Magic Krauser. Shout out to you, Carl Krauser. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but he's from the Bronx, and he played for the Pitt Panthers 4 years from 2002 to 2006. You know what I'm saying? He was, I believe, a two-time second-team All-Big East, and I think he was an honorable mention for AP Player of the Year. I think he's an honorable mention, I think twice, if not once. But I'll tell you what, I think, and I believe, Sock, you could correct me if I'm wrong because I know you know college basketball as well, but I believe the Pitt Panthers, all 4 years he was there, they made the NCAA tournament. So shout out to Carl Krauser. I'm going to put his he's got a channel. He does great content as well, a lot of positive content. I'm going to just post it in the chat real quick. Let me see if I can pin it. But check out his channel, bro. He does really good content. You know what I'm saying? But that's my boy from right out of the Bronxdale projects right here where I grew up. I grew up, down on Rosedale. We used to play in the park there, Rosedale Park. Shout out to Rosedale Park.
Carl Krauser, the epitome of the tough New York guard.
Tough New York. And I was really upset not to see him in the New York Point Guards that they had that show. You know what I'm saying? Like that was.
There's a couple of guys that could have got mentioned, but
Yeah.
But Carl had a great run at the University of Pittsburgh. I think he coached under Jamie Dixon. And,
was it Jamie Dixon?
I think the gentleman before him.
He went to UCLA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Harlan.
Yeah. When he went to UCLA. Yeah. So shout out to Carl Krauser. Maybe one day I'll have him on the show. It's up to him. He's a busy guy as well. But like I said, he does content as well. So go over there. It's up to him. And
Ben Howland.
X is up. That's what every time he shoots, he's got a shot. X is up. Shout out to my boy Carl Krauser. D Free is in the building. What's good, D Free? He'll be on later when we do our football picks. Shout out, Skywalker Boxing. Was good to you, my man G5 Gabe. What's going on, bro? Thanks for coming through. Shout out to you, Jamie TV. Shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. Who's this? Remob 316. What up, fellas? Boogie Down Bronx. I'm not sure who that is. but I'm sure they'll let me know later. Is that might be Gio, because he said Astros. I don't know if Astros will. I'm not sure if that's Gio or not. But shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. Rod Neal was good, bro. Go Astros. That's right. I know Rod Neal's an Astro fan, legit. I met Rod Neal almost a year to last week at the Deontay Wilder fight. Really good dude. Unfortunately, he's an Astros fan. But hey, the Astros are doing good, right? Down 2-0, up 3-2 now. You know what I'm saying? I can't say nothing bad. You know, the Astros looking good, looking to go to another World Series. And that's about it right now. Oh, it's Ricky. Ricky, what's good, Ricky? We're about to make this trade. I'm going to sleep on it, though. I saw the offer you made me in fantasy. I wish I would have sold that trade before I accepted the other trade. But shout out to you, Ricky, for coming through. Ricky's in the league in Big Mike's league. Sock knows my man, Big Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Santiago,
Mike Santiago, who I should have on here one day too, talk some wrestling. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So so let's get it started. You know what I'm saying? So not much going on this weekend. Got a couple of fights. Last week we had some big fights too. You know, not big, but a big fight. We had Tim Tszyu fighting Brian Mendoza. And it was a good fight. I mean, Mendoza was gamed. He was definitely not there just for a paycheck. He was there to try to win. And but Tim Tszyu overwhelmed him, and looked pretty good. What are your thoughts on that, Sock?
Yeah, I mean, Mendoza had flashes in the fight. He definitely did not come to just lay down to the heir apparent of the junior middleweight division. But Tim Tszyu just is on a different level, and fighting at home. A lot of people probably were expecting a stoppage, but Mendoza went the full 12 in a workman-like effort. But just the punching power was a little too much for Tim Tszyu. I'm sorry, in Tim Tszyu's favor. Wasn't the most exciting fight, and I guess it's just because of the fight happened across the globe, but it wound up ending almost 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rough watch if you're on the East Coast, but a good win for Tim Tszyu, and I guess he just waits to see what happens with Jermell Charlo to see if he's going to abandon the 154-pound titles or not.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's not. Well, now, I mean, they stripped Charlo of. I think the WBO stripped him, so Tim Tszyu is officially the WBO super welterweight champion. But the other 3 titles do remain with Charlo. So yeah, let's see what he does. He did call out Charlo again at the end of the fight. He said Vegas, see you in Vegas. So let's see. And that's one thing I wonder about Tim Tszyu. Like, he's been fighting over in Australia. Do you think it's a big difference when he comes over here to fight?
Depends who he fights. I mean, obviously Tim Tszyu is a guy of resources, so it's not like he's going to come in, a couple of days before the fight. Tim Tszyu, if he fights here in the United States, is going to probably set up camp for about a month somewhere in the West Coast, I'm assuming. And he did fight Terrell Gosha in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say that it's going to be a hiatus from Australia, that he wants to make his mark here in the United States.
Yeah.
Kudos to him. He also said that he doesn't necessarily feel like the champion because he has not beaten the man. So I personally don't think. I think him and Jermell Charlo can fight at some point in their career, but I don't think it's going to be at 154 pounds. I don't see Jermell Charlo draining himself to make 154. I can see him landing at 160 if he decides to fight again.
I think that'd probably be smarter. I don't think he should go down to 154. I think if he does, and if he goes and fights Tszyu his next fight, I think he gets stopped. That's my opinion. Before Canelo, I would have thought it would have been a better fight. But I think him coming back down and the way he just fought Canelo, the way he just didn't show up, the way he kind of like just tried to survive, I just can't take him seriously anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't take anything he says seriously. Lions only. Well, how about lying only? Right? Like,
yeah.
So I can't. Early on in the show, we was talking about the Cultures Gallery, and he was talking about at the weigh-in. He was doing it for the culture. Now, he didn't do it for the culture. Maybe his culture. You know what I'm saying? So total letdown by Charlo. Yeah, but I look forward to see him redeem himself. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a good story if he come and redeem himself, but he's got to make me a believer again, right? So, shout out to Garcia. Thanks for coming through. And yo, look who's here, Sock, Mr. Pedro Rivera, your boy
Wow,
Pedro.
that's a throwback.
That is a throwback.
The original Golden State Warriors fan.
Yeah, he don't like Golden State anymore. He turned on. He's not a Golden State fan. I forgot who he rocks with now. I think he rocks with the Knicks.
Portal.
Yeah, and he was the original Golden State fan.
That's
from
what
back
I'm
in the
saying. That's the Pedro Rivera that I know.
Yeah, he used to be he used to rock with Golden State back in the day, and yeah, so that's what he's saying. Confirmed. He's a Knicks now. That's what I knew. I thought I saw it. Say, you messed up, Pedro. You would have had a few chips. Now you're not going to see a chip for a minute.
You sold that stock at a bad time.
But shout out to you, Pedro, man. Thanks for coming through, bro. Hope all is good with you, bro. But yeah, so back to this boxing real quick. So yeah, I mean, I look forward to see Tim Tszyu and maybe Charlo or anybody else in that division. Maybe 160 might be better. And speaking of 160, we saw a fight last week. We saw Janabek. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Janabek with a very impressive win versus the German. Was it Vincenzo Galtieri? And the 160 division seems a little weak, but Janabek, he looks pretty solid. It's tough to tell because the division's not as strong. So I mean, for what it is, I mean, he looks to be the top guy. I mean, you got Adames there, Duhente, the Dominican there. He's a solid fighter. It'll probably be a nice fight. But then they're talking about Adames maybe fighting Canelo in May. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Janabek? I think he's now 16 or he's 15 or 16-0 with 10 KOs, 10, 11 KOs now. He's now unified. I believe he's now the IBF and WBO champion at 160. What do you think?
I mean, in the shallow division, he's clearly the best. And I believe he's going to be probably the most avoided guy in the division. He is a complete fighter. He fights in an intimidating style, and he's got that solid amateur background. I think the only thing that could hold him back is his age. He's already 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a fresh 30, right? He hasn't taken much punishment, but he's a scary fighter, and he fights mean. Too. And he's a southpaw, and he fights mean. Yeah. And he's 6 feet tall, so he may wind up at 168 before you know it. So I think sky's the limit. He's with the top ranked machine, and ESPN is starting to get behind him as well. So I think he's clearly the best at 160 until proven otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I like Adames. I think he's solid. I think he's competitive. That'd be a good fight, and I think that's a worthy challenger right now. I believe he has one of the titles as well, Adames, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has a title, and I think Lara still has a title. I think Lara has the WBA title. Yeah. So it's crazy. So those are the 4 titles at 160. And then speaking of Lara, it looks like he's signed to fight what we thought was going to happen this past summer versus Danny Garcia. I believe
it's official.
I think I saw it's official and it's going to be. I don't know which card is it going to be on the Benavidez. It might be on the Benavidez card.
Benavidez and
Andrade, which we can talk about as well. And I also saw that Thurman is scheduled to fight Stanionis. So I don't know if it's going to be on that card, but I definitely saw that pop up again. And I want to say it's signed. Don't quote me on it, but they're looking at one of those 2 days. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but I know we have Benavidez and Andrade, and now Stanionis and Thurman. So I think it'll be on the undercard of one of those fights.
Okay, it's interesting. I mean, Lara, as we know, has a lot of miles.
Floyd card, and it's on. Is Floyd fighting an exhibition or something?
I had heard Floyd against Mikey Garcia being talked about.
Okay.
I purposely ignored it because just go away unless you're gonna fight for real.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of what Floyd is doing. Obviously it's just a money grab. It's I don't think it helps the sport at all. So
Yeah.
my opinion.
Okay.
It's just like let go. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
let the spotlight. Like are you that insecure? Like that you need that spotlight all the time?
Well, if people are still paying, he's still making money. Then why not, right? I mean, he's not really damaging his body or anything. I mean, I
No,
don't like hating on people, that's still
I'm
trying
not
to
a
make the
player
money
hater.
and making the money. Yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, I do agree with you. But people are still paying for it. People are still watching. Then hold on. D Free is about to jump on. I think he has more to this
I
whole.
don't know who's paying for it.
It ain't me.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
What's going on, D Free? What's
It's good,
happening?
D.
Hey, yeah, so Floyd has a card. He's fighting an exhibition fight on December 9th, the same day as Devin Haney. And
Yeah.
he's doing the Lara versus Danny Garcia for the 160 title. He's also doing Keith Thurman versus Stanionis
Okay.
for the for elimination for the WBA. And they just added Chris Colbert versus Ryo rematch.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice little card. So, but that means Floyd is the main event of that card.
Yeah, Floyd is the main event.
Oh, that's hilarious. But the card is actually solid.
Yeah, but what they saying is it's like pretty much a celebration and a thanks to Showtime for the years that they had with Showtime because their contract is ending after December.
Yes, and
so that's the last big card that they're going to put on. So it's pretty much like a thank you to Showtime.
That's not
I'm
bad.
assuming Showtime pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's going to be Showtime pay-per-view.
It has to be. It's a probably.
God forbid they would put on Showtime regular.
It would be nice if they put it on Showtime. I think it would do well too if they had it on regular Showtime.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, I think it would do real well.
But what a lot of people is mad about is because they're doing it at the same time as Devin Haney's fight, which means
that's a pay-per-view.
Which means that Devin Haney probably not going to get as many views as they should get because everybody's going to be tuning into the Floyd fight. Now, if it was just Floyd and he had a bunch of exhibition fights on there, Devin Haney and Regis probably would do okay. But because he's putting Keith Thurman, Danny, and Lara, and the rematch for Chris Colbert, it might not. The Devin Haney fight might not get that many views because everybody's going to be tuning in to those fights.
Now, isn't that a slap in the face to Devin Haney, who since day one has been, it's after hours. The kids are asleep. Has been dick riding, his idol. And
but damn, that's fucked up. You said dick. Why you say dick?
But see,
why you say dick right? Like he can't be a fan.
See, the thing is because
no. You can be a fan.
No, but see, the thing is,
Floyd
always wanted. He always wanted Devin Haney, and Devin Haney chose not to sign with Floyd. So it's always been some type of bitter hate there because he never signed. That's how he ended up getting Tank Davis because he wanted Devin Haney first. If you remember that sparring match when Devin Haney made Tank quit, Floyd had Devin Haney and he was like, where he at? He was looking for Tank. He said, my guy is ready, talking about Devin Haney.
Yeah.
He wanted Devin Haney as his fighter, but Devin Haney ended up going independent and didn't sign with Floyd. That's how Floyd ended up getting Tank Davis, and Floyd ended up making Tank Davis a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah, and Haney was like 16, 17 in that sport.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. But he had just started, I believe, right after that fight, if I'm not mistaken, he ended up going pro in Mexico because he started his career in Mexico at 16 years old.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's messed up. I mean, it all depends on the card too. Like, people will be back and forth, right? Especially the Fire Stick people, they're going to be back and forth anyway. So that you're going to, who are you going to watch? You're going to watch the main event of exhibition fight, or you're going to watch Haney and Regis. So, if they're on the same time, people are going to watch Regis and
Which shouldn't be.
I believe the diehard is going to watch the Haney fight, but you still got a lot of casuals that still want Floyd to lose. They still want to see Floyd lose. They want to be able to say, "Okay, I saw Floyd lose," so they're going to tune in to see if Floyd going to lose. But Floyd is fighting these guys that really don't belong in the ring with him. And another thing that I heard, which is a guy who lives not too far from Manny Pacquiao. They said Manny Pacquiao is training to fight Floyd in a rematch. He's training to fight Floyd now in a rematch. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but Vince, that just fought on the undercard of Casamignola, he trains in the same gym that Manny Pacquiao trains, and they from the same hometown. And he actually went to Manny Pacquiao house right after he got finished doing a live stream with us. And he said Manny Pacquiao is training right now to fight Floyd in a rematch, but it's going to be an exhibition. It's not going to be an actual fight.
People, it's like you said, the casuals, they'll care, but like us, I'm not going to care. My man Pedro says Floyd probably fighting Michael B. Jordan next. Shaking my head. So it says, like, in my opinion, it's crazy. It's just nuts. You know, and I think it is a smack in the face to Haney, because this is Haney's this is second pay-per-view, because the Loma was a pay-per-view. I'm not sure.
All of Floyd's fights been pay-per-views.
No, I'm talking about Haney. Was Haney Loma pay-per-view?
Yeah, this is the second. Yeah, this is the second
one. Yeah,
Loma and Haney was his first one.
Yeah, so this is in his hometown, San Francisco. Like, is
it San Francisco or is it Oakland?
His hometown is San Francisco.
Okay.
Despite him, capping that he's from Oakland.
Yeah.
But he was born in Oakland, but he was raised in Vegas. So,
but he claimed San Francisco.
Right. You could say Oakland is his hometown because he was born there, but it's really not, because he was raised in Vegas. Yeah. That's like saying New York is Earl Spence's hometown. It's really not. He was born there, but he was raised in Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's just crazy, because I'm looking forward to seeing Haney and Regis. I think that's going to be a great fight.
Well, I'm gonna give you a hot take. There's a lot of people that think that Floyd Mayweather's entire career damaged the sport of boxing. So even after he's done, he's still damaging the sport by being the attention whore that he is. Why can't you have the fight another week?
Yeah,
you remember he did the same. Shine. He did the same thing to Tank Davis. Remember when Tank Davis was getting ready for, I think it was either Ryan or Rolly. He ended up doing a media workout the same time that Tank was doing his.
Yes.
It's just, he's ridiculous.
It is what it is. Like you said, the casual idiot, will tune in. As far as the card itself, it's a decent card, but Lara and Garcia, two guys that are definitely on the back end of their career. What was the other fight?
It's Thurman versus Stanionis.
Thurman was about to cash out. Stanionis, who you have to feel sorry for.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz. The fight was delayed twice. I doubt he was compensated at all. Right?
Yeah. I was hoping that Stanionis would fight Boots.
Oh,
that's what I was hoping for.
I'm sorry, I just peeked over to the NLCS. We got a tie game, 5-5.
Oh, Philly's in Arizona. Philly up 2-1, right? 2 games to 1. Yeah, I haven't watched much.
8th inning, 5-5. Craig Kimbrell, give it up.
This guy's still in the league. Crazy. Still closing.
Well, he didn't do a good. He left the door open tonight. Anyways,
that was good. That was good. But yeah, so but good looks on that, D, because I wasn't sure which card, but I know that they said, I don't know if it's signed, but I thought Thurman and Stanionis was signed. I thought that was announced either today or yesterday. I could have sworn I saw that. Lara and Danny, I'm not sure if that's actually signed, but they did mention that they were going to fight.
And that's another thing too. They never mentioned who was on the undercard of the Regis and Devin Haney fight. So
you know what's crazy? And I told Drew this. I don't know if I told you, Sock. I think last week. Boxing scene. I like to go to boxing scene. Sometimes it's, they got good articles, and sometimes it's bullshit, but they have a schedule. They don't have it, and I'm gonna go right now. They didn't have it even listed on the schedule.
Right. That's why I'm like, who is on the undercard? I've never heard who was on the undercard. I just know Regis.
They still don't have it. I'm sorry. December. Oh no, now they put it December 9th, but it wasn't on there until last week. It wasn't there. They even had you know,
They probably
Maelo
did it. They probably did it this week because they did that press conference and stuff like that.
Probably.
So they probably did it this week. But they still haven't told nobody who's on the undercard. We know who's on Floyd undercard, but we don't even know who's on Regis and Devin's undercard.
That's your boy Eddie Hearn, right?
Yeah, that's Eddie Hearn. It's going to be. I guarantee you, it's going to be a few UK fighters. I guarantee you.
Most likely.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was on regular DAZN because why would anyone have DAZN?
Yeah, and a lot of channels that I've been watching are saying the same thing.
I was having this argument with somebody the other day, and we was talking about is it good for Showtime to go to Amazon Prime? And somebody was like, well, they should go to DAZN. I was like, why? DAZN is horrible. I wouldn't want Top Rank to go to DAZN. I don't want nobody to go to DAZN. That app is horrible. You sit there for like 20, 30 minutes waiting for them to put a fight on. You just looking at an empty ring with lights on it, waiting for them to put the fight on. I'm like, dog, can somebody talk or do something? You just sitting there.
And they try to put other stuff because I believe they try to put football games on there now, soccer. They have NFL games on there too, I think. They got darts too.
The best part of DAZN, once you get past Sweet Caroline.
No, that app was meant for soccer. That app was meant for soccer. That's what it was meant for. It was meant to put on the soccer games.
And I don't even think they show like the good games. Like they don't show. I don't think the Premier League. So.
At least,
I don't know, but I know they show soccer. I know they show golf. They show soccer and golf, and I believe MMA more than they show boxing.
Can I get more Ebony Bridges? Weigh-in? Just a weigh-in. That's what I need.
Just a weigh-in? Yeah, word.
The blonde bomber.
And Sweet Caroline. That's all it's good for. Well, yeah. I think Amazon would be great. I mean,
what was that? What you called it?
Amazon. No, I think Amazon.
You said Amazon.
No, what?
I thought you said Amazon.
No, Amazon. I meant to say Amazon Prime. Like it would be good if they went there, which is the rumor.
Yeah, PVC, right?
Let me ask you a question, Sock. This is only for Sock because Sock knows this guy more than I know this guy. So if PBC was to sign with Amazon Prime, what do you think Rick Lace is going to say?
I think he's gonna spin it his way and say, Al Heyman got another sucker, right?
Well, the thing is, Amazon Prime, they want Al Heyman because they want Al Heyman to do the Budweiser Superfest concerts on Amazon. They want him to go back to doing that again, and they offer Al Heyman $90 million as a budget to put on PBC. And we all know that 90 million, like people say, okay, that's only $90 million, but you got to remember how PBC do their fights. They give you a small guarantee. You make all your money on the back end. Mm-hmm. So 90 million, they could put on a lot of big fights with $90 million. They could put on a lot of big fights. Because they never had the budget with Showtime. Showtime was like, okay, what fights do you got? And we'll tell you how much we'll give you for that fight. They never had a budget. Mm. But now they actually got a budget, so they can actually make some big fights.
There's a lot of channels out there, and they need content.
Well, but let me ask you this, D. I mean, so you say like 90 million. So what happens with if the rematch takes place with Spence and Crawford? If that really happens, wouldn't the bulk of the money end up going to them?
The money will go to Amazon because Showtime the contract ends. Showtime contract ends in December.
That's so they was trying. Yeah, because I'm just trying to understand. Like you said that the Amazon is going to give them a 90 million budget. So how would they stretch that with Bud and Spence if they
can still do the same thing that they did before. They can say, okay, this is what your guaranteed is. You make the rest of your money on the back end from the pay-per-view. Okay. So they could say, okay, we gave y'all 10 million last time. We'll either give you the same 10 million, or they might drop it down and say, look, we'll give you 5 million. Y'all know y'all made like 20 million or 30 million for the fight. So how about y'all just take the 5 million and we put the fight on pay-per-view once again, and y'all get the money on the back end.
That's true. Or would they still be able? Would they still be using Fox? Because they were doing Fox pay-per-views as well.
They haven't done Fox in a while. I think Fox has stopped doing boxing for about
last year. I think was Fox pay-per-view with the Deontay fight was Fox pay-per-view. I believe.
Deontay with who?
When Deontay fought last year, when he fought Helenius, I think that was a Fox.
No, that wasn't Fox. That was Showtime. All
right. So maybe the Danny Garcia one, because wasn't Danny Garcia of Showtime pay-per-view fight also?
I haven't seen a Fox pay-per-view.
Showtime.
Okay, all right. My
yeah, I haven't seen a Fox pay-per-view in a couple of years now.
I could have sworn that was Fox.
Was it the Pacquiao Ugas? Or Ugas and Spence?
No, that was Showtime.
Pacquiao Ugas was Fox.
Pacquiao Ugas might have been.
Because,
all right, I didn't know that. I thought it was last year they did it. But.
And that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that was like 3 years. That's what I said. It's been a couple of years since I've seen Fox put on a fight. So yeah, I mean that might have been. But I know Ugas and Earl was Showtime because I was at the fight and they kept putting Showtime all on the big screen. So I know that was Showtime.
All right. Real quick, shout out Kui. Thanks for coming through. Shout out to Kui, TWT family in the building. And shout out to my boy Steven, watching on Facebook. What's going on, Steven? He says Floyd is making more money than ever fights a fake. I think so. He's definitely making he's definitely making a lot of money fighting these YouTubers and whoever else he decided to fight. And I said, dog, Floyd, you want an easy fight to continue with your career? I'll fight you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Just give me 5. You ain't got to give me a lot of money. Give me 5. I'll fight you tomorrow. Real quick, one more thing, because we spoke about it. I want to get your take on this guy because not many people are talking about him, and the division's kind of whack. But we were just talking briefly about Janibek. What do you think about Janibek as a fighter?
Right now, Janibek is the big name in that division because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not. I think Jamal's fight. No, I take that back. Jamal is fighting Jose Benavidez at 160. He's fighting him at 160.
Oh, it's at 160? Okay.
Yeah, it's at 160. So Jamal's still a big name there. But Jamal hasn't fought in like 3 years. So right now, Janibek is the big name at 160. There's nobody else really at 160.
No, we said here's what. So Jamal's the WBC, Jamal Charles.
Yep.
Lara's the WBA.
Yep.
And then the interim WBC is Carlos Adames.
Yeah.
Who might be the second best. I mean, Lara's good, but we don't know what miles Lara has left, right?
I mean, Lara's like 40 years old.
Exactly. For what we know of, because we could be lying about his age. So Carlos Adames, and then Janibek is the IBF and WBO. So he's a big name. The division is just kind of like,
I mean, even with Carlos Adames, the casuals don't know who he is. There's more casuals know about Janibek than they do about Carlos Adames.
Yeah,
only the diehards know who Carlos Adames is.
Yeah.
Now, in reality, does anybody care about Jamal Charlo unless he's standing across the ring from Caleb Plant?
I don't.
I'm not gonna say that they don't care because he's been out of the ring for 3 years, so I think people will give him a pass with this fight with Jose Benavidez just to get the ring rust off, and then but his next fight will have to be somebody like Caleb Plant or.
But I thought Caleb Plant
Benavidez or somebody, one of those guys.
Didn't Caleb slap the ring rust off of him? He slapped something off of his sucker ass.
Actually, he might have made him stay out of the ring a little bit longer.
Yeah, I don't care much for Charlo unless like after the fact. Of course, if we fight is on, we're gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you have to go
we're gonna watch it, but he's fighting Jose Benavidez, who hasn't fought since last August against Danny Garcia, and Benavidez is nobody. His best fight was a loss versus Crawford at 147, and now he's moving up to
a loss against Crawford, and then his next best fight was a loss against Danny Garcia.
Yeah, and that fight was just trash. And we were there.
Movies, right?
We were in the building for that fight. So
if you think about Jose Benavidez, the first thing you're gonna think about him losing to Crawford, and then you're gonna think about him losing to Danny Garcia. You can't name no other opponents that he faced.
I can't. Not at this very moment, I cannot. But yeah. Let's move on to
before we move on. The biggest story of the week is Showtime going out of business.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't necessarily feel sorry for the fighters because I mean, fighters are going to find their way if they're talented enough. If they're a draw, they're going to find their way. Somebody. But I feel terrible for like the staff. You know, there's going to be a lot of people out of work. You know?
I wouldn't say that they're not going out of business. They're just not doing boxing no more. They're not doing boxing no more.
The people that do boxing are going to be out of work. You know,
the sports department is probably going to be out of work unless they take on a job with Amazon.
I can see that. If Amazon is smart, you know, you would definitely hire people that are experienced in shooting boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Their broadcast team.
So
I mean, I think the best boxing broadcast is Showbox.
Because if you think about it, look how they did with the NFL. All they did was bring all those guys that was on Thursday Night Football. They brought them over to Amazon. They brought them over to Amazon Prime. So it would be smart for them to do the same thing. That way, the boxing won't miss a beat the same way the NFL didn't miss a beat when they moved over to Amazon. And not only did they get Thursday Night Football, but they end up getting an NFL ticket.
Yeah. Well, we would hope so. I mean, Sock, go ahead and bring up that announce team. Like, I mean, I know you're going to mention this guy.
Well, I mean, you know, they announced Barry Tompkins, you know, who was the original HBO guy, you know, before Jim Lampley. You know, he found his home on Showbox with Raul Marquez as the color man, Steve Barhood. You know, I think that's the best team probably in all of boxing as far as doing this is a solid job.
Mm-hmm.
Mauro Ranallo, you know, he kind of grew on me, but you know, he's a little over the top. Bernstein's a Hall of Famer. Not my cup of tea, but you know, I gotta respect his longevity in the sport. You know, so this is a big blow. You know, Showtime's a major network, and they were always kind of second rate to HBO, no matter, you know, just in my opinion. But they had their legendary moments. You know, I mean, Diego Corrales and Jose Luis Castillo. The second part of Mike Tyson's career happened on Showtime.
Yeah.
You know, the greatest night maybe in heavyweight history when Evander Holyfield beat Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've had their moments. You know, so it's a sad day that they're out of the business.
I mean, and even if you think about this year alone, they put on a lot of big fights this year. Yeah. They had the Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia did over $100 million.
The two biggest shows. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so
they had Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia did over $100 million. And then they had the Earl Spence and Bud did 700,000 pay-per-views. And then they had the Jamel and Canelo Alvarez did 650,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So they did some big numbers.
Yeah, as far as big fight and big names, right?
You know, and the aftermath, you know, I've seen a lot of people quoting, dropping quotes like that boxing needs to take a look at the business model. You know, Terrence Crawford and Oscar De La Hoya kind of went back at it a little bit on Twitter. You know, it's just a sign of the time. Boxing, as we know, is not the sport that when we were kids. It's not the, you know, it's not the headline sport. It's very rare.
Yeah.
You know? And
like I said,
and it's sad.
They still got two more big cards coming up. They got the Boo Boo versus David Benavidez, and then you got the Floyd at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back real quick. Let me shout out AB. Thanks for coming through. Salute to you, bro. I mean, AB, TWT family. Salute to you, bro. Thanks for coming through.
What's going on?
He helped me with my videos and also my logo. So, you know, but TD logo, the Bronx logo, totally separate. But shout out to you, AB. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, I mean, one of the big pay-per-views, I don't know if it's big or not. It all depends. We're not gonna know until after the fight, honestly. Right. I'm not really up for it. I'm up for Boo Boo because this is his first chance. But is it too late for Boo Boo, right, to finally get this big fight that we wanted Boo Boo to get? This, I mean, at least I do. I can't speak for everybody, but I've been wanting to see Boo Boo in a big fight for years, and fighting the monster Benavidez, the guy that everybody wants to fight Canelo, right? So, I mean, is it a big fight? As a fan of Boo Boo, for me, it is kind of a big fight. But I just don't have any high expectations of Boo Boo. I hope he pulls it off. I hope he pulls off the upset, and I hope he dominates. But I honestly don't see it. Honestly,
I don't think Boo Boo is going to win, but it is a big fight because if you think about the landscape at 168, the big names are David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez, and Boo Boo. Now that he's at 168, because Morrell, but Morrell is still making his way. He's a great talent. I think he's the best. I think he's the best at 168. But he only got what, 8 fights, 9 fights, so he's still making his way.
How is his? I mean, I know he only got 8 fights, and he's already in. They're already talking about him, so you figure pretty soon he's going to.
That's what I say. Yeah, he's making his way, but his name ain't out there just yet. His name ain't out there just yet.
Was he an Olympian?
No.
So
no, but he was
background like.
He got a hell of an amateur background. He got a hell of an amateur
somebody
background.
with 8 fights, he's got.
But he wasn't an Olympian. No.
He's highly recognized. That's why. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sock. I know you're going to say something. Sorry.
No. Yeah. I mean, it definitely has ramifications. I mean, Andrade a couple of years ago was supposed to have fought Billy Joe Saunders. That had that funny moment with Billy Joe's kid kicking him in the nuts. Right.
Well, yeah. He tried to hit him in the nuts because I think he did it to another fighter. But that was funny.
Yeah, so he's had some bad luck. I mean, he fights in a style that's not necessarily the most crowd pleasing. I just don't think he's got enough punching power, despite him being as tall as David. Boo Boo is a big guy, but he's a guy that turned pro at 154. I just think Benavidez is not gonna be intimidated by what he brings.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the same legs he did at one point. And that's going to be the key. He's going to have to fight very disciplined fight. But at least he's going to have his day. He's going to have his moment to prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah.
To say why he's been the most avoided. He's almost like the modern day Winky Wright.
Something like that. I mean, 2 things. One, his most notable fight would probably be Vane's. I can't pronounce his name. I don't know if it was Martizoyan. Yeah, that was probably his notable fight because he was undefeated at the time. He knocked down Boo Boo.
Yeah, Barnes was very good.
Barnes was a really solid fighter. That's probably his best fight. And then second thing I want to bring up, he was supposed to fight one of the Charlos, and I believe he pulled out because
it was supposed to fight Jamel. He was supposed to fight Jamel.
Yeah, he was going to fight Jamel, and he pulled out like a week or 2 before or something like that.
The week of.
All right. And it was because of Rock Nation?
He said his manager messed up the money somehow. Whatever it was, he said his manager messed up the money.
And that was his big fight. I mean, imagine he takes that fight, he wins. Maybe we don't hear anything about Charlie. Maybe Andrade fights Canelo, right? Because he called Canelo out. Maybe he went to the press conference and then Canelo played him. He's like, "You want payday?" I know that.
Right.
Right. So maybe if he didn't pull out that fight and he beats Charlo, he might have got the Canelo fight. So
Yeah, he made a lot of bad business decisions.
Yeah.
So he kind of circumvent his own career, but I mean, it doesn't take away from the talent that he has.
Yeah.
The man is a great talent in the ring. Now his business mind is horrible, but the talent is there.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's a little too late. I mean, because anything can happen when you step in that square circle.
Yeah.
We just don't know. We won't know until they actually get in the ring and they fight.
Well, I'm rooting for him. I just don't think he's going to win. So it's like one of those situations where I'm not going to bet on him, but I'm rooting for him to win. But when I make my prediction, I'm going to probably most likely pick Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I already favored David Benavidez because, and I know styles make fight, but that last fight that I saw Boo Boo against Damon Milkerson, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way he looked. He looked like he had a lot of ring rust.
Yeah.
He looked like his power didn't translate at 168.
He looks slow.
Yep.
Yeah, and he looked slow.
He looks slow.
So and then you have another long layoff after that fight. So I don't know. And David Benavidez just fought Caleb Plant a couple of months ago. Fought Caleb Plant.
I wouldn't say a couple months ago, but
it was what, the beginning of the summer?
Was it the beginning of the summer?
Yeah, he just fought Caleb Plant. It was the beginning of the summer. It was like June. It was like June, May, somewhere around there.
Right. I thought it was early, like January, February, but maybe you're right.
It's like June or May, something like that.
I'm not going to question you because you've been right so far, everything you said. So I'm not going to even. I'm not going to question you. So, but yeah, damn, I figured it. But obviously, definitely more recent than Andrade. So
yeah, I'm like, because it's going to be like, I think it's like, at the most, I think it's going to be like 6 months since David Benavidez had a fight. Yeah. At the most, I think it's like 6 months. But Boo Boo hasn't had a fight since last year.
Since last year.
He fought
this year. I think he fought this year.
Yeah, January. It was the undercard of Tank Davis. January 7th, to be exact. Yeah. That was the undercard. So it's been January since Boo Boo fought. Yeah, that's when Tank Davis put on Boo Boo Andrade, and he put on Boots as his undercard. Yeah, Boo Boo and Boots on his undercard for the Hector Garcia fight, January 7th.
Yeah, May 25th. You was absolutely right again, D-Free. No wonder you're in first place in the picks, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, May 25th, Caleb Plant and
I knew. I saw like it's like the beginning of the summer. It was May or June, somewhere around there.
My apologies, man. I can't be questioning you anymore, man.
Hey, I'm not right about everything. I get stuff wrong too, so I ain't got no problem with nobody double checking. I get stuff wrong too.
Well, when people are right and they do a good thing, sometimes you got to give you a pat, pat yourself on the So yeah. So all right.
What else we got? We have
nothing else. I wanted to bring up one guy. I did it when I did the show with Pedro this past Sunday. We talked about 160, and I know 160 dead. I do want to mention and put this out there in the universe because I put it in the radio show. I like Elijah Garcia. I think he might be the future guy in 160. That's just me. I just want to throw it out in the universe. Not that anybody cares. He's only 16-0 with 13 KOs, but I'm just throwing it out there. He may be the next guy at 160. Elijah Garcia.
Oh, I don't doubt that not one bit. Elijah Garcia, he's definitely a hellified prospect that's coming up, and he definitely got eyes on him. I don't doubt that he'll be that guy at some point in time in his career because he got the talent. He got to tighten up on his defense a little bit more, and he gotta work on not pulling straight back.
Yeah,
he tends to pull straight back, and he has some holes in his defense. If he can tighten up on that, I see the sky's the limit for him because that man got talent.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I don't know where we're gonna go next, but let me throw another guy out there. Not 160, I believe in 154. Shout out to we had him on a couple months ago or last month. Giovanni Marquez, Raul Marquez's son. He looked good last week as well.
Yeah,
he had a stoppage. I like him. I mean, he's a nice kid. We had his father on. We're trying to get his father on again, and then maybe maybe Giovanni will come too. But that's another guy to look for. I believe he fights at 154. He looked good. He looked pretty fast too. He looked faster than
no, it's smaller.
Huh?
Yeah, I think they're at welterweight. I think that's what they.
147.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it might have been okay. All right, but either way, I wanted to mention, and I'll probably mention this if Raul comes back on with us. He looked faster than his pops, so
yeah.
Just throw that out there. But he looked good, what I'm saying. So shout out to Giovanni Marquez. Moving forward, I don't know anything else as far as boxing. Boxing's we got one kind of a big fight tomorrow. Maybe a big fight for one guy. The other guy is probably like a make or break fight. Um, Not sure if Saki was going to go there, but Jack Catterall versus Jorge Linares tomorrow. It's kind of a make or break fight for Linares. He's on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he he talks a good game. Not that he's talking trash, but he talks like he feels good. Every fighter says they feel good. He feels like he's fighting the undefeated Jack Catterall that so-called beat
I thought
which I thought he beat
he
Taylor
got
as
screwed.
well. He
That
did
was one of the
get
worst decisions. That was definitely probably the worst decision of that year. That was what, 2021, right?
21. It wasn't 22,
Around,
21. Yeah.
it was that was robbery. He whooped Josh Taylor.
Yeah, he absolutely
Knockout
beat him.
and they took a point away, which was bullshit. If I remember. Yeah, that was in 2022. Early February 26, 2022. He fought Josh Taylor. Was that in Scotland or in the UK?
Yeah. That was in the UK.
That was in UK in Glasgow, which is Glasgow. Is that Scotland? Scotland's part of the UK, right? Scotland, parts of Ireland, I think, are UK.
No, I mean they're part of the
continent.
Yeah,
they're Europe, but
I mean, I think they're a sovereign nation.
I think Glasgow is part of Scotland, but it's the UK because Ireland. There's parts of Ireland as part of the UK, but it's Ireland,
right. Northern Ireland.
Yeah, right. So it wasn't. I think it was in Scotland. It says Glasgow, and I believe that's Scotland.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was Scotland.
Yeah.
It was Scotland.
Yeah, it says Glasgow. I'm almost positive Glasgow is Scotland
because they was kind of trying to make it like a homecoming fight for him because he won all his titles on the road. So they was trying to make it like a homecoming fight for his first title defense.
Except against Regis. I believe he fought Regis in the UK somewhere. I don't believe he fought him here.
No, he fought Regis in the UK. No. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
It's kind of, but in England, I don't think it wasn't in Scotland. So, which is close. It's kind of like a home fight for him anyway.
That's when it was still worth having the zone.
Yeah,
it was.
I don't think Eddie Hearn's going to come on the show anytime soon, so we can shit on the zone for a minute.
But Eddie Hearn is actually sociable. I mean, he speaks to people.
I personally like Eddie Hearn as a person.
Okay.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he actually. That's what I'm saying. He's very approachable. Like he'll speak to you.
Super.
I mean, he lies a lot, but he does interviews. I've seen him do videos with people. So
right, but going back to what you were saying about Jack Catterall, that fight, I don't really. Linares has passed it. I wouldn't even say it's a make or break fight for Linares because he didn't already been a champion. The man already been knocked out like 5-6 times.
6 times.
He's pretty much just getting it. Yeah, he's pretty much just getting a paycheck. He's just getting a paycheck because we got to remember. I think after he fought Devin Haney, I think he had one more fight, and then we didn't hear nothing from him since then. I think he had one more.
No, he's had two fights. He's had 2 fights because I did the homework yesterday, earlier today, just in case I'm on the radio. So he fought. Let me just check it. It was after Haney, or maybe it was one. Let me just double check it. Good. After Haney, it was 2 other fights. Yeah, and he got stopped in one of them, and then he fought another guy from Russia and lost a unanimous decision. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a make or break fight for Linares. I should say it's a payday for Linares because remember he was having this whole thing about Conor Ben was trying to fight Linares. They was going back and forth. No, not Conor Ben. I'm sorry, Kell Brook. Kell Brook and Linares was going at it over, and it was a video of Kell Brook and Linares going at it, and they was talking about making a fight or whatever. But
that'd be a good fight.
It will be.
Somebody's getting knocked out.
Yeah, but Linares get knocked out against Kell Brook. But yeah, it's just a payday for Linares. What, he's like 37, 38 years old?
38.
38.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a payday for him. Now Jack Catterall, this is pretty much a redemption to show that he was robbed. I mean, we all know that he was robbed, but it's like a redemption for him because I believe he had a fight earlier this year.
Yeah, he fought in May.
Yeah, so he had a
in
fight
May,
earlier this
he
year.
knocked the guy down twice. He fought a guy named Foley, something Foley. He fought at Foley in a 10-rounder. He knocked him down twice. He was deducted a point because I think he hit the guy when he was down. So but he won easily. He got a unanimous.
So this is pretty much Jack Catterall trying to get back into title contention. So it's more of a make or break for Jack Catterall than it is for Linares.
Yeah. I mean, it's like to remind people that he's still around at 140. Do I see him as someone that people are going to clamor to fight? Like, is Teofimo Lopez going to jump to fight him? Ryan Garcia, maybe. Jack is good. I mean, he got job that night against Josh Taylor. Now, sometimes guys hit that peak. They'll have that, like, all the stars are lined up, and they'll never be that good ever again.
That's a good point.
The guy that Rolly fought, the Dominican dude, Marinez, he got screwed.
That was
Marinez.
Fights ago. That was I know you.
That was about 3 years ago. He got effed, and then what happened? Marinez became the opponent. He lost to the guy from Ghana, from the Bronx, the one that Teofimo knocked out. Help me out.
He's from the Bronx.
Yes, he knocked him out the guard, and I was there, front row.
That he just fought Loma last year or something like that.
Yes,
I know you're talking about.
So like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. He won a title.
We all know it's an unfair sport, right?
Yeah.
So is Catterall that good? Because he beat at the time when he fought Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was the undisputed 140. Yeah. There was, Josh Taylor was on everybody's top 10. Pound for pound and all that, and he took it to Josh Taylor, and he got screwed that night. So.
And he was, and to Jack's credit, I mean, he hadn't really fought anybody before that, but he was talking a lot of shit.
He was extremely confident.
After the fight, like he was saying, like he expected to win. No good fight, no nothing. He expected to dominate, and he pretty much almost dominated that fight, man.
And he got fucked, like they say in China. But so I think
Theo would not fight a guy like Jack.
He should beat Linares.
He should beat, yeah.
He should beat Linares. Jorge Linares is almost like Amir Khan. Like the guy looks great, in spurts, but he's a bleeder. He's really a lightweight.
But he can crack. He can still crack though.
Yeah.
Linares can still. I mean, Haney took his foot off the gas that one round. He got caught. He knocked Loma down.
Yeah,
like he got a knockdown against Loma. He got punching power.
He still got fast hands, but I don't think he takes it as well.
No,
and he bleeds a lot. So I could see that fight ending with a cut. He's not really 140. So
I'm interested.
Actually, to be honest, I think Jack Catterall might stop Linares. I think he might stop Linares.
I think Jack is going to stop him. I'm going to say 9th round stoppage, and my thing is with Jack, I'm always looking in the future. Like when I see fights like this, it's like, all right, get it out the way. Who are you fighting next? I want to see you fight a champion. I don't think Tio fights Jack. I don't think that's a guy that.
No,
Jack better not get in there with Matias.
Maybe he'll try to fight. I know Matias has a fight lined up. Maybe he'll try to get in the ring with somebody like Matias. He might be able to outbox Matias, but that's what I'm interested in seeing. Who do you want to see Jack?
He gonna get killed. He get in there with Matias.
Yeah, but Matias has no defense, right? And Matias
Teofimo would be great.
Yeah. Huh?
Matias and Teofimo's a great fight.
I think that'll be a great fight.
Hell yeah. That's
I would love Matias to knock Tio out.
Speaking of Tio, I just see an interview Tio just did this week.
Yeah.
Tio said he's retired.
Again.
They said, let me ask you, because I heard you was retired, then you wasn't retired. So what is it? He was like, man, I'm still retired. He said, I fought 2 or 3 champions. I'm retired. He said, ain't nothing that. He said, I'm gonna take care of what I gotta take care of at home. I'm retired. I'm like,
this guy's a head case.
Okay.
He's just looking for the big possible fight with, the least risk.
Is he
That's
divorced? Is he
huh?
officially divorced?
I don't know if they actually
Yeah,
got divorced. If I they're
yeah,
supposed
He
to.
is.
they
I don't
did.
know.
They did. They
They
got.
did.
They did. Yeah, they did. They got
Just
divorced.
keep it a keeper.
She has custody. She has custody of the child. Yeah, she has custody of the child, and so I don't know what's up with T.O. And that's my biggest thing with T.O. Like up until he fought Lomachenko, I liked T.O. I was like, T.O. is a good fighter. He got skills. After he fought Loma, it was like, okay, he conquered everything he needed to conquer in the sport of boxing, and he started moving like a diva.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you were supposed to be the takeover. Take over the division. Fight those guys. But I don't know. It's like, and then he got married to this woman that his father told him not to get married to. He got married to her anyway. They had a child. Now she put him through all this, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to think of the man.
I don't know. I have nothing to say. T.O. I know that's one of our guys in the TWT family, BVO. That's like his favorite fighter. Sock. I know you may not admit this, but I know that's like one of your favorite fighters as well.
I was a huge Teofimo Lopez fan. I still am. But
I think he's not a bum. He's a very, very good fighter. I just don't like the way he moves.
Every day when he wakes up in the morning, he should kick himself in the nuts for losing to George Kambosos.
Yeah.
Just one. Once a day.
No, actually, I don't even think he should kick himself in the nuts because he lost to Kambosos. I think he should kick himself. I think he should kick himself in the nuts for not taking a rematch with Kambosos. Kambosos was like, okay, I'll fight you again. And this man was like, nope, I'm going to 140. I was like, you believe you won. This man said he will fight you again, and you say, no, you're going to 140?
He got a gift against Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin won that fight. I don't care what anybody says. He got a gift. I mean, it wouldn't have been a pretty win for Sandor, but
it wasn't a convincing win, but it was a win. It was.
I mean, he should have got credit for 2 knockdowns. I'm not saying it was powerful knockdowns. He didn't hurt T.O., but a score is a score. A point is a point. And I believe that Sandor Martin.
Has Sandor Martin fought since?
I don't think he's fought since. I have not heard his name, which is crazy.
No,
Sandor Martin's a tough guy to look good against.
Yeah, no, and he's very awkward.
He's not a guy that's going to engage you, but it is what it is, man. I mean, I get so Teofimo's going to turn down a monster payday against Ryan Garcia, maybe.
I doubt it. I don't think so. I think if it presents itself, I think he fights. It's going to be a different situation unless they're willing to strip the title. So, like what I believe may happen, I believe he's going to wait to see what happens with Regis and
Devin,
Haney, and then see what he does because
he
hates Haney. So, like if they were going to strip the title and Haney was going to fight for a vacant one, he won't retire. Like that said, but he won't fight Haney, which is crazy. So I think we're going to wait to see what happens. If Regis wins, why not Regis and T.O.?
But my whole thing is, if he say he's retired, he came out and said it again that he's retired. I think the WBC should say, okay, you retired, stay retired. We putting you in recess. If you want your title back, you have to fight the winner of this next match that we put it in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good fighters at 140.
Shit, it might be you have to fight Devin Haney to get the title.
You might have to fight your cousin, right? Russell, he's there too, right? He's at 140.
Yeah. It could. I mean, shit. He might have to fight Rolly, who used to be his best friend.
Oh, it's used to they're not friends anymore.
No, I ain't gonna say they're not friends no more, but they're not as close as they once was because Rolly. T.O. said something about Rolly when he lost the Tank, and Rolly went back at T.O. So they had some words or whatever. Okay. So they're not as close as they once was. I'm not gonna say that they're not friends, but they're not as close as they once was.
Yeah. T.O. and Tank would be a great fight too. I've said that for like the last 2 years. I would have loved to see that. I like them. I think their styles would be perfect for each other. If somebody's going to get stopped, probably T.O., but I think T.O. would engage and T.O. talks a little bit. I think those styles would be a great fight.
Who?
T.O. versus Tank. I think that would be a great
Oh
fight.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
That's a big fight. It might do somewhere close to the numbers of Ryan and Tank.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people believe. I mean, a lot of people going to say T.O. got way better skills than Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. And they
so
have
they're going to say,
that fight on the East Coast. It could be in New York. It could be in Jersey. It could be.
No, they do it in New York. It's going to be a mega fight in New York because Tank Davis already Tank Davis already sold out the Barcade.
Yeah.
So they in Baltimore ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump to New York.
Yeah.
That's going to be a mega fight if they do it in New York.
I think that would be a mega fight. That would sell. You know, the Garden hasn't really had a big fight in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been a while. So
yeah, because all of the big fights that's been in New York been at the Barcade.
Yeah. Yeah, the Barclays has had bigger fights, but the Garden hasn't really had a big fight. I can't think of the last big fight in the Garden. Can you, Sock? Like, what was the last?
Actually, they just had one. They just had a big fight.
So the Big House.
They had T.O. and Taylor.
No, but that was
it was in the ballroom.
No, that was in the theater though, bro. That was like 5,000 people.
I know.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, you're being sarcastic.
Well, here's the thing.
I mean,
Okay.
but
I'm going to let you in on a little
I
secret.
agree with you, Pedro. By the way, I agree. I think Tank wins too.
I'm going to let you a little secret. Madison Square Garden goes the way the Puerto Rican fighter goes.
Yeah.
Felix Trinidad had the Garden popping. After that, Miguel Cotto took the baton, and he sold at the Garden every year.
Yeah.
Miguel Cotto lost to
Margarito.
Austin Trout, and then he lost to Saddam Ali. That was it. You know? So the Garden has not been the same.
Margarito was in Vegas, I think, right?
Yeah, Vegas, yeah. But the rematch was against Margarito at the Garden.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that's basically what the way Madison Square Garden boxing is as of late. You know, Top Rank is looking for the next. You know, with Xander.
They're hoping
only time will tell.
That's why they pushing Shakur Stevenson to be a Puerto Rican because they want that next Puerto Rican star.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's true. And he's the East Coast. He's right. He's across the bridge.
You know, does he have the cachet? You know, to be the next star? Only time will tell. I mean, he's obviously talented. You know, but is he going to be embraced by the Puerto Rican fight fan?
No,
I mean,
because
I don't think so. I like Shakur.
Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor.
Huh?
Yeah.
Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor was the last big fight the Garden.
Yeah,
right. And that was the big house, right? That was in the big house.
That was in the big house.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm gonna say this.
I'll give you the
Shakur Stevenson is not gonna be a big star because too many people think he's moving like Bud. Too many people say he's moving like Bud, and they don't like the fact that he's moving like Bud. So he's already getting backlash with the Devin Haney situation and the Frank Martin situation, even though the Frank Martin wasn't on him, but because of what he said in that interview, he said, "Oh, I'll offer him 25%." Okay, so you wanted him to take the 25%, but you wasn't willing to take the 25%. So he's getting backlash off of that. So a lot of people, I don't think he can be a star if he moved differently. If he moves like Bud is moving, he's not going to be a big star.
I agree. And then his style is not going to help him either. I mean, it's not going to help the Puerto Rican fan base. The Puerto Rican fan base, the casuals, they're not really now guys like me and like Gano Loco and stuff. They appreciate the skill set, but
because
Puerto Ricans here in New York, they want to see they want to see somebody like Trinidad, like Cutler. They want to see somebody get knockouts. So I mean,
I'm about to say because if you think about all of the Puerto Rican stars, they were fighters. They were fighters.
And outside of Camacho, they were humble.
Yeah, that too. That too.
They were humble. They moved. They were of the people. Shakur is in that crossroads of almost like being in that Zab Judah zone. Hanging out with with a certain crowd.
Yeah.
And I and he fights like Guillermo Rigondeaux. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like that's not crowd pleasing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
The
not.
only thing is with Shakur and Zab is different, but that's a good comparison with Zab because Zab had all the talent in the world, but Zab's problem was he wouldn't take fights seriously. He wouldn't train. He wasn't training as hard. He would tire out early, like his gas tank was done.
Zab problem was
And he
Zab
enjoyed the
problem
celebrity.
was Zab problem was the same problem that daggone Berlanga had. His head got too big.
Yeah.
Right.
His head got too big, and he thought he was bigger than the sport of boxing, and he felt like he didn't have to train, and that's what happened. Because Zab could have been one of New York's best fighters.
He could have been one of the best fighters. Period. He was nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
to this day, I think
best fighters.
Nobody has had three better rounds versus Floyd than Zab. Nobody. You can't tell me another fighter that had 3 better rounds than what Zab had against Floyd.
Only Jose Luis Castillo who really won that fight.
Oh,
who outlanded Floyd by like 100 shots.
In the first fight, well, he fought him a second time. He dominated the second fight.
Right, but you know, he still won the first one. But
you think Jose? Okay, I'm not gonna say
Joseph Townsend.
Shout out to my boy Joe Townsend. Thanks for coming through.
Puerto Rican Stevenson. That's hilarious. That is great.
Yeah, Zab, those first 3 rounds. I mean, he should have got a knockdown that fight, like because Floyd's glove touched the mat. He caught him good and caught him off balance.
Yeah.
And Floyd,
his glove did touch the mat.
Scored a knockdown.
And Zab got caught up. You know, Zab won. You know, the celebrity.
Yeah, and he lost the fight before that. He lost to Baltimore the fight before that.
Yes.
Zab. The problem was Zab didn't know how to control his emotions. Zab is a hothead. I mean, and that's due to the fact that he's from Brooklyn. He didn't know how to control his emotions. That man let Floyd get in his head, and he just started fighting dirty, and it cost him the fight because Floyd got in his head, and Floyd was able to outbox him once he got in his head.
Well, credit to Zab. Zab's mouth is what got him the Floyd fight because he wasn't going to get the Floyd fight. Because he lost to Baltimore. He was supposed to beat Baltimore, then he would have got the Floyd fight easy. But he lost to Baltimore, which was a crazy upset, and he legit lost. Nobody could say that Zab got robbed, and he talked his way into the Floyd fight. He talked his way into the fight, and Floyd gave him the fight. He didn't deserve a Floyd fight after that. So, but his mouth got him the fight. But then his mouth got him fucked up too, and got him suspended for a year. Well, did he get suspended for a year after that, or his trainer?
His trainer. It was actually Floyd's trainer that got suspended. Roger Mayweather. Roger got suspended.
Yeah,
because Roger jumped in the ring. Roger ended up getting suspended.
Yeah, that's crazy. Joel Judah, 2-time undisputed trainer. He trained Zab, undisputed, and he trained. He's a trainer of Devin Haney. He gets credit for that. 2 undefeated fighters for Joel Judah.
Yeah, because he would, if it wasn't for the fact that Bill Haney got to go over to Australia, he would have been the head trainer for that fight.
Yeah, he would have been the head trainer here. So I heard shout out to you, Joe Tyson. So Zab was the original Adrian Broner, pretty much.
Yeah,
you know, but Zab, I think Zab had more skill than Broner. Not that Broner doesn't have skill. Broner is nice.
Yeah, Zab was more skilled, and Zab wasn't as reckless as Adrian Broner outside the ring. He was reckless, but not as reckless as Adrian Broner.
Zab's problem was he wasn't really training for fights. But Zab wasn't really, you know. I mean, who knows if social media would have been as popular back then, it'd be different because social media has, you know, it has something to do with it too. Because, you know, Broner was on social media with these weird posts and, you know, live streaming and shit like that. So who knows? But
his drinking became his problem.
Yeah. But Zab was nice, man. Zab had some of the fastest hands I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was dope. We just, you know, kind of brought up Zab. Can't believe you brought up Berlanga. Berlanga is so trash. Oh my god, I can't.
I don't even know what's going on with Berlanga. That man went and signed with DAZN. I'm like, DAZN.
You know his trainer though. You know,
very well.
Yeah, he knows the trainer.
We get him on the show.
We should try to get him on. I love to.
Yeah, I mean, he went back to his original trainer, but I'm like, why did you go to the zone? The zone don't have nobody. You're gonna be fighting a bunch of UK fighters.
He wants to fight Munguia probably or whatever. But
I mean, that's a fight that makes sense. They're
Yeah,
both
I mean-
on the same level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fight. It's a good fight for Berlanga, but
I mean, Munguia might outlast him. Munguia has a good gas tank.
I mean, Berlanga is going to be the B side in that fight. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's going to be the B side in that fight.
Yeah.
So we don't even know how much he's going to get paid for that fight because he's going to be the B side.
Yeah.
McGee is the bigger name.
Yeah. Yeah, but Berlanga, he's still rep Terror Squad. Berlanga's he's a character, man. He's definitely he loves the spotlight. I tell you that much. But he hasn't done anything to really earn that. But we'll see. We'll see with Berlanga. I mean, I've heard stories about Berlanga when he was younger. He was a better boxer, but he kind of fell in love with trying to get knockouts, and he's not really doing that. So, but yeah, I don't know anything else in boxing. I mean, there's another fight tomorrow. Nothing really crazy. That Alexis Rocha's fighting Giovanni Santillane. Yeah, he's undefeated guy, but I know nothing much about it. Only thing I know about Rocha is that he beat the shit out of Blair Cobbs. So that's the only thing.
I mean, that Alexis Rocha's two notable fights was losing to Speedy and beating Blair Cobb.
And beating Blair Cobbs, yeah.
That's his two notable fights.
And that's what I said to you, Sock, before we got on. I was like,
I mean,
besides those two.
Yeah, I mean, it's whoever wins puts himself in that, in that top 5, I guess, in some organization.
Yeah.
Research,
I mean, shit, whoever wins might put themselves in the top 5 at 147 because it ain't nobody else there.
Right. Some Boots and I mean Stanionis. It's now
Stanionis and Boots. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Josh Sanders, what's good? Thanks for coming through. Shout out to you.
Because Keith Thurman, yeah, he's there, but I don't. I mean,
Keith.
I don't even know how the fuck Keith Thurman is at 147. I don't even know how the fuck he's at 147. That man is huge for 147.
He said Keith smokes his weed. He's good.
He smokes too his bud. He got married. It's a wrap.
I think that might be the reason why Keith Thurman's body is so weak because he walks around, and like I said, I seen him in person. He walks around like 170, 180, and then you got to cut all the way down to 147. That might be why his body's so weak.
He looked big. You just took a picture. Was it last week or the week before? I stood the picture you had with him.
The picture I sent to you. That man. I'm 190, 195. That man looked like he's about my size.
Yeah, he looked bigger than you.
I'm like, oh, this man is big as hell.
Yeah,
but he's not fat. He's cut up.
I knew, Pedro's still around. Yo, that's my boy Pedro. Like, hey, yo.
But that man is cut up. He's not fat. He's cut up. I'm like, God, I don't know. I don't understand how you making 147.
Yo, Pedro's a clown, yo. Oh man, yo, Pedro, remember when we used to cheat in spades?
Pedro and BBO will have a time together.
Yeah, because BBO be always be like with that pause shit too. Like, but I do that shit too. I'm like, hey, yo, whoa, hey, yo.
I do it when somebody's talking real reckless. When somebody's talking real reckless, I'm like, oh, that was a little too suspect for me. A little too suspect.
Pedro's cool. I knew Pedro since college days, and Sock knew him in high school. And we used to play spades in the Metro North back from White Plains.
Awesome.
We used to play in school. And we used to cheat like crazy and shit. Oh, and spit. That game spit. Some girls taught us how to play.
I know how to play spit too. I used to play that shit all the time.
We was nice at that. We used to talk mad shit too. But that's what man
I used to play spades and spit. I still play spades. I grew up playing spades. My mother and them used to play spades all the time. That was the first card game I ever knew was spades.
Yeah, spade. Well, I play a lot of card games. Spades and dominoes is the
yeah, dominoes too.
You play
I play a lot of card games, but that was the first card game that I ever played was spades. Yeah. I used to sit around the table and watch my mother on Friday and Saturday nights. My mother and father would have their friends over. They would play spades.
You so there's a lot of different versions of spades. You play where like if you got one spade, you get to pass it off to your partner and you play that way?
I play with people that play like that, but no.
Well, we used to play like that, and what Pedro used to do, if he had 3 spades, he would slide it over to me like if it was 1, and then I would slide up 3 cards. And he would start, if he had the big dog, right? Or the little dog, we was monsters in spades. I mean, we cheated, but we were monsters in spades.
I didn't play every version of spades that you can possibly play. Like you have the 2 of clubs. You had they had the kitty. I played big joker, little joker. I played ace high. I didn't play damn near every version
of spades.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't play damn near every version of spades.
Yeah, I played pretty much every version too. I mean, it's always house rules. It depends on where you're playing.
It's always house rules.
I don't think
when I sit down to play spades, that's the first question. How do y'all play?
How do you play? Well, yeah, exactly.
How do y'all play?
Yeah, who won it? we used to yell this shit out like, who won it? Pedro used to get a lot of fights in high school. Sock told me. I know you was ready to get into it in college a few times, but well, those good times back in the day. But yeah, we used to play spades, bones, everything. Sock played bones. I don't think he played spades. Sock too Dominican to play spades. So as Sock is taking his probably a little break, probably to the restroom or whatever. I guess we're going to transform from boxing, and we're going to go on to football. We'll go over it. We're going to do these picks. Let me go over the standings. Give Sock some time. Last week was a good week for D Free, a very, very good week for Sock, and a shit week for me. So we'll start off with the shit week in me. I went 1-2 on my picks, bringing my total to 9-9. So if anybody took my picks since week 1 till now, you have lost money going 9-9. Even though it's even, you lose the Vic, so you have lost money. Last week, D Free went 2-1. That brings his record to 11-6-1. He is in first place by a half a game. That tie, that push, puts you ahead in first place. I'm in last at 9-9. 11-6-1 for D Free. If you've been taking D Free's picks since week 1, you have made some good money. And last week, Sock redeemed himself and went undefeated at 3-0. Bringing his record now to 11-7. We are now in week number 7. Huh?
Now, going back, is that 6 in a row?
Did you did 3-0 the week before? You might have, because you was in last. Oh shit, this guy really.
Yeah, because I know I went 3-0 last week. I believe Scott did go.
Oh shit, you did. You 6 in a row for Sock. Yep, he got the Jags, the Eagles, and the Chiefs the week before, and this past week, Jets, Commanders, and the Jags again. So Sock is now 11-7. So that means you was once 5-7 all the way to 11-7. Still in second place, D Free 1, but 6 in a row deserves definitely deserve that, Sock. You get the Barry Horowitz.
I appreciate that.
Good looks corrected me, of course. You had to make it well known. 6 in a row. That's a good feat. That means if you took Sock's picks the last 2 weeks, you didn't lose anything. You won good money. You got all your picks absolutely correct. Big props.
This is a tough week too.
Big props to Sock. Yeah, 6.
I was mad as hell that they tied. I was like, damn, I could have been 3-0. These motherfuckers couldn't score an extra point.
Yeah,
it was that fucking field goal that they missed. That daggone extra point they missed.
Yeah. That was 2 weeks ago you got the tie, not last week. 2 weeks ago, what was you got the push in? Was it the Houston game? Houston, they lost exactly by 2 points.
Yeah, they lost the Jags by 2 points.
Yep. Crazy. But yeah, we had a couple upsets this past week. The San Francisco 49ers, the team I hate the most, they lost to the Cleveland Browns with their backup quarterback. That was shocking. That
Their
Cleveland Browns
third string quarterback. Third
string quarterback. That defense is no joke. And Purdy got a little bit exposed a little bit, before the game. Debo and, of course, Trent Williams talk shit and want to fight every week. We got into a little scuffle with the Browns. That might have motivated the Browns a little something. Debo ended up getting hurt in that game as well as McCaffrey. Yeah. And they lost outright. They were favored by 10 points, and they lost outright against the Cleveland Browns. And then, of course, another upset, Sock, took the Jets plus 6.5. With the injuries in the Jets, Sauce and the other corner out, who would have thought? I mean, the Eagles have some injuries as well, but who would have thought that the Jets, not only covering 6.5, won the game outright. So big props to the New Jersey Jets on winning the game, right? I'm consistent, D-Free, to the New Jersey Jets.
And there's only so many QB sneaks you could do.
Yeah, there's only so many QB sneaks you can do. I text my boy Mal, but I don't know. He must have fell asleep or something. He said he was going to come on and talk about the Cowboys, even though they'll play this week. But it's kind of good that he's not here because who want to hear about the Cowboys? I know we have some Cowboy fans in the chat from Dallas, but since Mal didn't come, we don't have to talk about the Cowboys. So, yeah, I'm going to bring up to the screen this week's games. And, Sock, I'm going to give you the decision to go first, second, or third because that's now another 3-0, and I think you deserve to make that decision. So hold on, let me see if this is it right here. Hold on. Yep, this is it. If you cannot see it, I'll blow it up a little bit more. But Sock, you will make the decision whether you go first, second, or third, and
blow
then B3 will go after that. I will. Hey yo, I will blow it up. Let's see. Can I do it this way? Will you guys be able to? No, you'll cover the screen. Hold the phone. This one is better. Okay, and you let me know if you want me to move it over to the right, to the move the slide. Pedro said he's about to win some bread, Sock.
Okay. All right.
Back in the day, we used to did I play CeeLo with you, Pedro? I don't think so. I think it was just Spades. But anyway, go ahead. I know Josh Sanders was talking about dice. We used to play CeeLo back in the day here in the Bronx.
Yeah, I used to play CeeLo too.
Yeah, CeeLo was the shit, Josh.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I love being a bank.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sock, let me know what you want to do, my friend.
Okay. Traditionally, the team that's coming over from the West Coast to play at 1:00 normally sleepwalks. But I'm playing the homer role. I'm taking the Raiders.
Oh, so you want me to go to that? Let me go to the spread. Hold on. The Raiders are favorite 2.5 at Chicago.
Yes, I'm taking the Raiders in that game.
Write this down because I wrote all these notes. Okay.
They should win by at least a field goal.
Raiders, and Fields is not playing for the Bears this weekend. So Sock is taking Raiders minus 2.5. The Las Vegas Raiders. That is also Sock's favorite NFL team. He's taking the Raiders minus 2.5. 4, 6. Oh, yeah, Pedro's bugging. D-Free, I bring it up to you. Do you want to go second or you want to go third? You have the option.
I'll go third.
So I'll go second? Okay.
Yep.
So that means you'll go for 2, jerk face. Let me see. Let me see what I like. I mean, I'm not touching my team because I got too much writing on my team this week. And I didn't even do a recap. I didn't do a recap this week. I was so frustrated that Seattle lost this past week. I don't even want to talk about it. So I will not be taking the Seahawks game because I picked them in my knockout pools. So if Seattle loses the game, I'm going to really be upset because I'll be eliminated. I'll be eliminated from my knockout pools. And usually I'm in 2 knockout pools. And what I usually do is I'll take 2 different teams. But this week is tough. And I already used some of the good teams. So Seattle was really the only team that was good to pick with the games on the board. So so my goal, I think I saw again, I just want to look this over again. I really like this game here, and people are going to think I'm crazy, but let me just look real quick. I hope I didn't mess up these slides because I don't see the Chiefs game here. Did I mess up there? Okay, there we go. It's a tough week. This is one of the toughest weeks.
It is.
But I'm gonna do it. I mean, I'm in last place. I'm gonna pick the tough games, and I'm gonna pick the tough game. I'm gonna take. They have not looked good at all. Yeah, Fields is out, Sam. Shout out to you, Sam. Thanks for coming through, Sam. My man Sam DeFran up in here. Fields is listed as out. He was doubtful, now he's out for the game. I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens -3 over the Detroit Lions.
Mm.
I know Baltimore has not looked good and Detroit has played real well, but I think this is a big win and a must win for Baltimore at home. So I like Baltimore -3. So I left your team there for you, D Free, because I know you want to take them.
I'm gonna go to the next slide real quick.
I got you, bro. There's 3 games each page. I believe there's only 12 games because we already had the 13th game yesterday. So you just it's a tough week.
Yeah, it is.
That's why you're in last. Pedro talking shit. I wouldn't have it any other way, Pedro. If you didn't talk shit, then I would think something's wrong with you.
I'm gonna go with. Go back. Go to the left one time.
I got you. And then here's another one. That's the first page.
I'm gonna go with. Damn. Do I want to take them? I'm gonna go with the Bills -8.
Buffalo -8 on the road. Buffalo they've been looked inconsistent, but they've been getting the wins. I mean, they lost to Jacksonville, but they should have lost to the Giants last week, which is crazy. I just don't know what to expect with this Buffalo team.
I just don't. I don't like the Patriots at all.
Yeah,
they don't.
Patriots just look terrible.
They look horrible.
I think that's a good pick. The Bills hate the Patriots. The Patriots are ass this year.
Yeah,
they're gonna if they get a chance to embarrass New England at home, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And the next game I'm going to go with is I'm gonna go with the Browns over the Colts.
Wow, nice one on the road. I mean, the Browns got a big win at home versus, what many believe is either the first or second best team in the NFC, the Niners. Taking them on the road versus the Colts, -3.5. They are favored on the road, the Browns.
The Colts don't have their quarterback for the rest of the year.
That's going to give me this pick that I thought D. Free would take, him being a Commanders fan. A lot of people think, the Giants, they play Washington pretty well. Last year, I think both games were close pretty much. Didn't they have a tie last year? But
we had the first game was a tie. The second game, they beat us.
Yeah, I just think that the Giants are absolute trash. I just think they're just one of the worst teams in football. That offensive line is terrible. And the Commanders been playing a lot better. They're another team that's not that consistent, but the Commanders have been playing a lot better. I like the Commanders -3 against the New Jersey Smurfs. I mean the New Jersey Giants. Sorry, Pedro. I know you're a big Blue fan. I wanted to make sure you heard me when I said that. I know you feel confident because I'm a last place, so that probably makes you feel better that I picked the Commanders. You probably think the Giants going to win. It's not going to happen. Commanders -3. Sock, you get 2 picks.
Okay, I'm going to go with a home dog. The Denver Broncos have been trash. However, I do believe that there has to be some pride in that locker room, and I think the Packers are even more trash. So out of the 2 trash teams, give me Denver at home, giving a point against the Green Bay Packers.
+1.5 versus the Green Bay Packers. I agree with you. Russ has been playing okay. Last week he didn't play as good, but his numbers is not that bad. It's that the defense has been bad. But the Packers look bad too. I mean, Aaron Jones should play. I don't know if that's going to help. But all right, and then you got another pick. Salute to you, Bruce Gas. Thanks for coming through. My man, Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more. Salute to you, bro.
My third pick is a rivalry game. I'm picking a home favorite, 425 game. I'm picking the Chiefs over the overrated San Diego Chargers.
And what is that? Is that 5.5?
Yes.
5.5. KC minus 5.5. Interesting you took that game because I know you can't stand either team.
No.
So Kansas City minus 5.5 at home versus the Chargers. I like that pick. I think the Chargers are another team, especially in close games. They can't close. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, that was your 3 picks. So Sock in second place has his 3 games. He's got the Raiders minus 2.5, the Broncos plus 1.5, and KC minus 5.5. Those of you keeping score, and those of you that are, looking at our bets, Sock is the hot hand. He's won 6 in a row on his picks. Now it's my go, my last pick. I was looking at this game and I was thinking about it, and now I changed my mind. It's just tough, very, very tough, and I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings plus 7.
I knew you was gonna do that. I saw that. I said he's gonna take Vikings.
Because I've been taking the Niners the last 2 weeks. They covered the other week, and then last week they lost outright. But I like the Vikings at home. They're playing a little bit better. I think the Niners are a little bit banged up. Vikings they play hard every week. They're not going to go in there and lay down at home. I like them getting 7 points at home. So that ends my 3 games. I'm in last place. I need to make ground. If you've been taking my picks, I apologize. And I hope to get back on track. I have taken the Ravens, I've taken the Commanders, and the Vikings plus 7. Those are my 3 picks. So maybe you want to go opposite of my picks to make some money. Go ahead and good luck to you. D-Free, now for your 3rd pick. Shout out to my man William Old School. Thanks for coming through, bro. Salute to you, bro. Sorry about your Saints yesterday. They came back. I thought they were going to pull it out. Your tight end dropped the easy touchdown pass. My apologies.
My last pick, I'm going to go opposite of you. I'm going to go to Lions plus 3.
Lions plus 3. Not a bad pick. The Lions are playing well. The Lions, their only loss is against, guess who? The Seattle Seahawks. So, yeah, but other than that, the Lions have played well. They're, 5-1, I believe? So, It's not bad. I just think Baltimore at home, and this is a must-win for them. Watch what the Baltimore win the game. They'll probably win by 2. And
that's what I'm about to say. Baltimore probably win by 1. So I will still win. I hope the Lions win because I win on both of my picks. I win in both my pick'em leads. But I mean, at least I'll be in first place in one of them if Baltimore win, but they only win by 1.
Yeah,
I think the Bills is going to cover the 8, and I think the Browns is going to cover the 3.5.
Yeah, they're good picks. I mean, you're in first place, and Soccer's in second. You guys are both winning money on your picks. So let's go over D Free's picks. He took Buffalo minus 8, the Browns minus 3.5, and the Lions plus 3. Once again, D Free is in first place. He's 11-6-1 or 11-7-1. Sorry. We're picking 3 games each week, so you should have 18 games. So 11-6-1. Sock 11-7. So if you're riding any of those 2 guys' picks, you've made some good bread. If you rode with my picks, you have not made good bread. You haven't lost that much, but you're definitely a loser. Not that I'm a loser, but the more I say it, I kind of feel like a loser. Real quick, I see Pedro ask a question. What do you guys think about Miami Philly? I think that's the game of the week.
Yeah,
that's a great game.
I was going to pick it, but I don't know. That game could go either way. That's because Miami could score a lot of points, but the Eagles could score a lot of points as well because I don't have faith in neither one of those teams' defense.
Yeah, and the injuries too, right? The Eagles
Right.
got injuries,
If Slay doesn't play, but then Slay may not want to play because he's got to go against Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Something in me says that the Miami's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think Miami's going to win.
Yeah.
I actually think Miami's going to blow the Eagles out. I'm hoping that they blow the Eagles out.
The chat is going to be lit if the Eagles lose because obviously we have.
But a small part of me want the Eagles to win because I have a bet going on with knockout. But another side of me wants the Eagles to lose because they are in my division. And if my team wins this week, we're gaining ground on first place. We're only one game out of first place if Eagles lose. We're only one game out of first place.
That's a cool game because you have a lot of backstory. Tua against Hurts. Tua, basically made Hurts transfer. The spot as a freshman. So
I think that's another reason why I think Miami's going to blow the Eagles out because them boys. He got a personal vendetta against Jalen Hurts.
So it's a good backstory. Jalen Carter, I haven't checked the injury report because Jalen Carter last week missed against the Jets.
Yeah, he's supposedly going to play this week. So according to Mr. Ortiz, our friend in our chat, a big Eagle fan, talks a lot of shit. That's why he's saying if the Dolphins win, the chat's going to be lit. They're going to roast. I
would probably bet the over.
Yeah. That's what the question is. MKM Collectible, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for coming through. My man Michael, he's shout out to you. Thanks. He says, "What's the over under the Philly game?" I don't think it was on the spreads. I cut it out. I think it was. Was it there? Let me see. Is it? Yeah, over under
51.
51 and a half. Now, just to let everybody know, these are spreads that I got today, so they're up to date through DraftKings. The different sites have different spreads. Shouldn't be that way off, maybe by a half a point or so. So over under 51 and a half, I like the over, and I think both teams will put up some points.
Yeah, if you're playing it on DraftKings, if you're going by these point spread, you want to play it on DraftKings.
Yeah.
If you're going by our picks, you want to play it on DraftKings. All of our picks and the point spread is all from DraftKings. So
I'd use DraftKings.
Don't go to Vegas trying to play our picks.
Well, it won't be off. Remember, the lines do change. Every week they change. Like if they see a guy is going to be out or injured or something, the lines
it'll change. If everything stays the same, the spread will still be the same. At the end of the week, but if something happens, then the spread might change.
Yeah, my man Sam DeFran says, "Fuck Philly." Another Cowboy fan, by the way. My man Sam is a big Cowboy fan. We only know so many Cowboy fans. Like I said, we're supposed to have my man Malvin was supposed to come through. I sent him the link and everything. And Judah Ben, I don't know what happened to him. He said he was coming too. But yes, Mal was supposed to come and talk some Cowboy football. He was hyped for the win last week, and rightfully so. Dak looked decent. He looked better. Against the Chargers. So, shout out to the Cowboys. That was a good win for them after the week they had. Now they go into the bye week. So, he says, fuck Philly. I say fuck Philly too. So, yeah, I agree with you. I understand. And by the way, he's a Commander fan. My man D Free, he's a Commander fan. So he's in your division. So just before you say fuck the Commanders, because I know you're probably thinking it. Shout out to my sister, Christina. Thank you for coming through. She says, hi, brother. Hi, sister. How you doing? What's going on? I didn't like what you said in the text message the other day. I am not the ugliest one in the family. I'm actually the best looking in the family. But we can talk about that another time. But that's my sister.
I gotta always remember my man Thomas.
Oh, yeah, that's a Joe Theismann. The Joe Theismann. Yeah, I got another one I got to send to Gio. But Gio never comes here. Gio is...
The first football jersey I ever had was a Joe Theismann jersey.
Really?
A lady that worked with my dad went on some trip to Washington, and I was about, I think, 7 years old.
Was it the same year that they played the Raiders?
I was about 7 or 8.
Yeah, so, when they played the Raiders in the Super Bowl, was it the same year? That's crazy.
That was 83. That was 83.
Yeah. So you would have been like 6. Yeah.
That was 83.
Yeah, and I And I do remember that game a little bit.
Yeah. My man Mike says it's a trap game. Everyone think it's going to go high score and watch it go. It happens like that, right? And that's what Vegas does to trick you, right? And we spoke about that. There's some spreads we see today.
What's the weather?
One when the spreads are out there to trick you, you think it's like, come on, man, these guys score a lot of points, and then all of a sudden they have stinkers. And Vegas.
But I think both teams probably scored somewhere around 28 points.
I think so too. So, and it depends on the weather too. I haven't checked like the weather reports. It's in Philly.
They playing in Philly.
It's in Philly. Yeah, it's in
all
Philly.
right, I'll tell you what the weather is right now. Hold on one second.
Because sometimes the weather does play a difference. You know,
it's that time of the year that you have to pay attention to the weather.
So that's a good point too. That's kind of. I mean, speaking of
according to the weather, it's supposed to be 61 degrees.
Okay, no rain, right? Clear.
No rain. It's supposed to be partly cloudy, 61 degrees.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, one of my picks was Baltimore -3. To me, I think that's a trap. That's a trick line for Vegas. That's why I kind of took Baltimore. You know, Baltimore hasn't really played well. Detroit's played real well. Yes, it's at Baltimore. Both East Coasters, not like they're traveling far. So I feel like the spread should be kind of like a pick 'em or maybe Baltimore -1. I think Baltimore -3 looks too good to take Detroit. So in my opinion, and like mind you, I'm in last place. That was one of the games I thought was a trick game with Baltimore -3, and that's why I took Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to win by at least 7 to 10 points. But just want you to know, I'm an honest guy. I don't want to make it look like I'm the greatest. I've been the least. I'm in last place. But that's one of the reasons why I took Baltimore. I felt like that line was a trick line. So, but yeah, Vegas does do that. They try to trick you on these lines.
Now.
Yes.
Okay. The one thing we can all agree on is last week's performance by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
It's about fucking time.
What a ass whooping.
They dominate that game. And mind you, they could have scored more points on them.
What did I tell you? I told you, Thomas.
You did.
I said they're going to beat the shit out of USC. I said USC.
I don't know if you said beat the shit, but you did say they were going to beat them. And I was just like, whatever. Because it's like, you know, it's every year with Notre Dame. As a Notre Dame fan, you know, you see this every year. The big games, they can't win the big games. And then the big game, Ohio State, a game they lost, they should have won, right? Especially that first half, that first quarter, first 2 drives, they did not score any points. And they should have scored at least 10. So, like, you know, you lose that game. The next week, you struggle. You beat a ranked Duke team. Great.
So,
all right.
The only thing that makes me mad about the Ohio State game was we had 2 interceptions in our hand and we dropped them.
And oh my God. So, like, you know,
on the last drive, we had 2 interceptions
in the hands and dropped. And we just gave the game away. 10 guys on the field. They didn't have 11 guys in the field the last 2 plays. Embarrassing. I believe Mike was texting me and Facebook back and forth. And Mike, my apologies. I ignored your message the last couple one because I was pissed. You probably could imagine how pissed I was. I didn't pay attention to because me and him were texting back and forth about the game, and I was even telling Mike, you could even tell Mike is proof. My witness that I was saying I can't get hype. They always let me down. So like, and Mike was like, I believe Mike told me you got to stop being negative. I was like, I see this every year.
No, I told Thomas was like, D-Free, are you watching the game? I said, dog, I stopped watching the game at halftime. He like, man, they beating the hell out of motherfucking USC. I said, I already know. I said, I stopped watching at halftime. They had too big of a lead at a halftime. I was like, they're not giving it up. They're not giving it up.
But to have a stinker versus Louisville, and then you see Louisville losing to Pitt. By the way, that's Notre Dame's next game. I believe it's against Pitt, and then I think they play Clemson after that. I'm hoping Clemson.
But you know what I think it was? I think they still haven't. They didn't come off the loss to Ohio State. They bounced back and they beat Duke, but they still didn't come off the loss from Ohio State. They still was looking at that loss from Ohio State because they if they would have won that game from Ohio State, they would have been in the top 5. They beat Duke the following week. Ohio State was ranked number 6, I believe. They was ranked number 6 at the time. They would have been in the top 5 if they would have beat Ohio State.
100%. Yeah, and they got lucky against Duke because remember it was like a 4th and 13, and Hartman ran for like 15 yards and got the first down. If not, they lost. They would have lost to Duke too. So credit to them for winning that game, but they didn't look as good like they did. I mean, listen, as fans, you tend to be biased for your team, right? Because that's why we're fans. I try to keep it as real as I can when it comes to my teams, and and not cap for my teams. But can anybody say that Ohio State was a better team?
No.
Hell no. Absolutely not.
No. Hell no. Ohio State was not the better team because you got to look at what Ohio State was doing all the way up until they faced against Notre Dame. They was blowing everybody out in the first quarter. They was blowing everybody out in the first quarter. Now, rightfully so, we was doing the same thing, but we wasn't playing the level of competition that Ohio State was playing.
Correct.
Yeah. I had to move to the living room. My battery's running out.
We wasn't playing the level of competition that Ohio State was playing. We was playing against people that we should have been blowing out in the first quarter. So yeah, we was blowing everybody out in the first quarter, but Ohio State was doing it against better opposition, and they didn't look that motherfucking good against us because they only scored 17 points, something like that. I think they won by they won by 1. They won by 1 point.
Yep. And then of course the coaching mistake.
Yeah, it was 17-16. They won by 1 point.
And that final play that we had the 10 men on the field.
I don't even think that should be a penalty. You got 10 men on the field. If it's a penalty that you got too many, why is it a penalty that you don't have enough? That should be an advantage for the offense. Okay, you ain't got enough. That's your fault.
Good point.
Thomas dropped off. His batteries died.
Oh, shit.
He said his laptop battery was dying too.
My bad. My battery died on my laptop. I'm on my phone now. Let me just plug it in. That's my bad. I don't know if you saw the chat. I chatted the other one. I don't know if you
I saw it.
Yeah,
but,
my bad.
I was just telling Sock. I was like, that shouldn't be a penalty that we only had 10 men on the field. That should be an advantage for the offense. You only got 10 men on the field. Okay, that's not our fault. That's your fault. Now you got too many on the field. Yeah, that's a penalty. You got too many on the field.
But a good win. So now we rank 15. I think we're probably looking at like the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Day.
Yeah, and let some other big teams start losing. And let's Georgia lose, Ohio State lose. Who else is up there? And that's a couple of those teams that's ranked in the top 10. Unless they start losing, if they lose like 1 or 2 games and Notre Dame went out, we might can squeak back up there.
It's going to be tough. I mean, the Big Ten is so bad this year. Like, I mean, but they play tomorrow. Penn State plays Ohio State this weekend.
It's a big game.
Yeah, but Michigan doesn't play. They play Penn State and Ohio State. I believe they play Penn State in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Michigan has played no one.
I just need Michigan and Ohio State to lose 1 game. They ain't got to lose 2. They can lose 1.
The perfect world would be Penn State wins.
Right.
And then Ohio State beats Michigan, and then somehow Penn State loses somewhere.
That's it.
But that's the bet. But it's gonna be tough. I mean, I honestly just want Notre Dame to get a good, New Year's game, a big game, and then win the game. Like because they haven't won, like I said, a big bowl game in a minute. So
I'm trying to think right now as it stands. I'm trying to think right now as it stands, who will we be facing in a bowl game?
It all depends. It depends on how everything plays out. Because Alabama has only got 1 loss. They're up there, right?
That's a money game.
Yeah.
Alabama's up there.
Hey, Alabama look like they're going to lose another one. They look like they're going to lose another game.
They've been kind of battle tested. They've been in some close games, and they pulled it out against good teams. I got to give it to them. I mean, they're not as good. This is the year that there's really not a really great team. I mean, unless Michigan or Penn State or Ohio State obviously is not it because we saw them. I mean, they're a good team, but unless Michigan really is like that good, but we don't know. They haven't played anybody, so we can't really tell.
Yeah.
We're not going to know until they play like Georgia. Georgia, they don't seem to be that good either.
No.
They're
Georgia's
good.
like-
They're good,
Georgia-
but it's not like those Alabama teams and or the Georgia team from a couple years ago that was like really, really good. So there's really nobody this year that's like that.
Right. Nobody's running away with it. You like, okay, I know that they're going to the national championship, but who else is going with them? Is no team like
Oklahoma's
that.
undefeated. They're
Oregon?
good. Oklahoma's undefeated. They got a big win. They beat Texas. Who knows? I think this is a good year. This would have been a good year if there was 6 teams in the playoffs rather than 4.
Yeah. I think they're doing 6 next year?
They're supposed to
year
expand it. They've been talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know when though.
I thought they said 2024, but it might be 2025. I thought they said 2024, but it very well could be the following year.
Could be, yeah, because this
mean,
year, 2024 would be this year, pretty much, because the New Year.
I mean, the season for 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I know they've been talking about. They were talking about 8 teams also. So
yeah, they was.
But it's all money. Everything is money, and these bowls. These sponsors of the bowl games, they don't want to lose out. They want to make sure they get their games. So,
but it would mean more money for the bowl game because now the bowls are in the playoffs.
They would put those bowls in play. That's true, but it's interesting. I don't know. I think another thing is with the finals or midterms or whatever is at that time.
I think they need to do it. I mean, me personally, I always said they should do it like the NCAA do it. They have a March, December Madness.
But they can't have as many teams. I think the max.
No, not as many teams, but they should do something like that where it's like 32 teams.
That's
and
that's still too much. That's too much.
No, it's not. They all playing in December.
32 teams, 16 games in 1 week, and then 8 and 4. That's too much. I don't think you'll ever see that. Maybe 16.
How many games they play every week?
A bunch of games. You're talking about bowl games that would be the playoffs. So
no, the bowl games would come down to the last like 8 or 12 games. It would be like
so you're basically saying that they would have it would not be neutral sites. They would host like the top seed would host the game.
Yeah, the top team will host the game until they get down to like the Sweet 16 or something like that, or the Elite 8.
I just think 32 teams is a lot. Like, I think that's just too much. 16 I can see. 32.
How many bowl games are they? How many
NFL? How many NFL has? NFL has what? 14?
7.
7 each side, so 14.
Yeah, it's 4 seeds.
Then you want 32? Jesus.
But see, how many bowl games are they?
There's about 30 something bowl games. 30, I want to say 31, 32 bowl games.
So then all 32, then you have all those as bowl games.
Yeah, but you got the next round. If it's 32 teams, that's 16 games. Then 8, that's 24. Then 4. Yeah, I guess. So that means everybody would. Yeah. So the bowl games, instead of bowl games, they would make the playoffs. But then those teams will lose out to the money. Those small schools, they'll never do it, man. I'm telling you, those small schools won't get that payday. Remember, they get paid money to go to those games.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's too much money involved, bro. Because those small, like those, Marshalls, like if they win their little conference,
well, actually, the way they should do it,
they're gonna end up going to like Michigan in the first round because they're the 32 seed playing the number 1 seed. And what money are they going to get? They're going to be on the road at Michigan.
The way I was saying was it would be the division leader of each conference.
Which is kind of like the NCAA, like
it would be the division leader of each conference. We got all these teams, but the division leaders are the ones that play in the bowl games, not everybody else.
Oh, wow, they need to put you on a committee.
I mean, they might well, but hey, it would be a definitive champion instead of you having these people vote for who's number 1.
Well, I mean, they basically voting for who's the top 4, And the fifth
Yeah.
and sixth team is the asked out teams that you think they
Right.
should.
So you voting for these teams. So if you like this team more, you're gonna vote for that team to be in the top 4. You don't like this team, so you ain't gonna give them no votes.
I like the players. I just think 32. I mean, you know, NCAA, which it shouldn't be, but it is. It's all about money. Like, you know, everybody, you know, it's the greed of money.
That's why the daggone college players should be getting paid.
Well, they're getting money now, not, you know, as much, but better than before. That's why you're going to see Colorado in the next 2 or 3 years. They're going to be a top 5 team. You know, because
I see a lot of people was getting on Colorado. I'm like, y'all getting on Colorado. This is his first year there, and he's done better than they've done in the last 5 years.
I think the reason why they're hating on Colorado is because a lot of the old school people, they feel like he's in a better situation than they were back then, right? So like back in the day when you was a coach and you took over a program, right? You was pretty much stuck with the kids and the team, right? And you got to bring over your players, but you basically got somebody else's recruits and you built from there. Now what Dion did is he took over the program and he got rid of almost everybody, which is kind of messed up when you think about it. I know it's his team, they're paying him a lot of money and you want to win now, but to the kids, remember, they're just kids. They get screwed because now, you know, yeah, they're playing football, but they also getting an education, like not you know, the scholarship players, but like the guys that are not going to make the NFL, right? So now they got to go look for another school, another living situation, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I think he gets a bad rap along with other coaches. I think that's the main reason that they're shitting on Dion. It's because now, you know, you're able to do this and then you bring your players and you can pay. These players are making some money now, but you know, the way he wiped out pretty much all those kids, you know, and said, "Oh, you go play somewhere else." So I think that's why they kind of like roasting them, you know. And I get it. You know, it's different. It's a different game now. It's different times and stuff like that. But I think that, to me, in my opinion, I think that's why he's getting, you know, the hate. Right? I don't hate Dion. I think what he's doing is great, but I kind of see why he may be getting some of the hate because of that. You know, because at the end of the day, they are kids, right? So.
Yeah. But man, it's all good.
So yeah, that's I don't really have much else. I don't know if you guys have anything.
I'm good.
Yeah, this is a good show. We spoke next week. Cross our fingers. He may be watching now. I'm hoping to have Pedro Fernandez on next week. He said most likely he might come on. That'll be good. And maybe we might have another person on. That should be really fun. You know, Pedro's one of the best to do it. He's got a lot of stories. He's a very smart guy. I've learned.
You talking about the pitcher?
No, I'm talking about the writer, and then he's
okay.
Ring Talk. He's been in boxing a long time, 40 years, right, Stock?
Yeah, it's the longest running boxing radio program.
Yep, and he used to be a writer. He worked with Don King TV, I believe, also.
You know who Crown Jewel is?
WWE.
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel. He got a channel. No, he got a channel. He comes on me and BBO channel a lot.
Okay.
He's a former fighter. Okay. He's now a trainer or whatever. But he know a lot of the guys that you interview. Like he knows the commish. He knows Don King. He knows a lot of those guys. I'm gonna see if I can get him to come over and y'all can do an interview with him and he could talk to you because he's been in Virgil Hunter, I believe it was one of his sparring. Well, he was a sparring partner. They worked out of the same gym.
Okay.
There's a couple of other former fighters that he's been with and he worked with. But I'm gonna talk to him and see if I can get him come over here and y'all do an interview with him because he got a lot of stories about about boxing and he knows a lot of the people that y'all know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I mean, maybe he'll know Pedro too, but Pedro's been around for a minute.
I'm almost certain he's out of New Jersey. I'm almost certain he knows who Pedro is. He's out of New Jersey. Like I said, he knows about Don King. He can tell you a lot of stories about Don King. He knows about the commish. He a lot of people. He know a lot of people.
That's dope. I mean, if you ever this guy Pedro, his stories. He's been around Muhammad Ali. And his stories are great, and he knows them like. I mean, I don't know how he remembers so much, and he'll tell you like that. He can talk for forever too. He's great. So I'm hoping to have him. You'll be on too with us. Pick his brain. Sock knows him a little bit more than I do.
And that's another thing too. He's a black and Puerto Rican. He don't speak Spanish. He's just like me. He's black and Puerto Rican, but he don't speak Spanish.
And Pedro, Pedro don't speak Spanish either, right, Sock? I don't think Pedro speaks Spanish either. But he's Mexican. He's Mexican American. Huh?
Muy poquito.
Yeah. He told me a story about I forgot who it was. It was a Camacho fight, and then some girls came. I don't let him tell it because it's hilarious. But he said it's something about him saying that he tried to be cool and says I'm a Americano, right? And the way he said it sounded like I'm maricón. He's like, yeah, maricón. And the girls is like, what?
You know exactly what that means.
Huh?
But yeah, that is the one word. You could be Polish. Somebody call you maricón. You know what time it is.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do that. I also, like early in the show, I mentioned I emailed, I hit up Raul Marquez. It'd be good to get him maybe after everything blows over this year, and he could probably talk more about the Showtime stuff because he's, he works with Showbox. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what's up. Another thing I wanted to discuss too was maybe trying to get another day during the week, besides Friday, a little bit earlier. Just maybe do a short, like we'll do one topic and we'll get to the point. 30 minutes max. Have a nice day, something like that. But we could talk about that behind the scenes. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. Guys, I pinned in the chat my boy Carl Krauser, who was in earlier in the live. Check out his channel. He, former point guard of the Pitt Panthers. He was nice. Went to the NCAA tournament 4 times. I think Pedro Rivera knows who he is. Carl Krauser, that old Black Magic. He has a good channel, a lot of inspirational stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's from my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So check out his channel. Maybe one day, maybe he'll come through, talk a little college basketball as well. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. Like I said, appreciate you guys. This was good. This was great. Maybe hopefully I could get some wins on my picks. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, I mean, never know. This might be the week we all go 3-0. Oh, actually, we can't because you got Baltimore and I got the Lions.
So yeah, we bumping heads unless it's a push. So
yeah, unless it's a push.
But yeah. So
all right, fellas.
Man, Pedro,
I appreciate y'all having me up.
Pedro, I'm gonna put the link in next week. You come through too. I want to hear. I want to talk to you. You come on the panel and talk your shit too, Pedro, because Pedro's a funny fucking guy. Yo,
appreciate.
We had some good times in college.
He said you a loser with those picks.
See, that's what I'm saying. He talked mad shit. Yo, Pedro, I think the last time I saw you was on the train. You bumped me, and I was like, "Yo," I was ready to throw the hands. I think it was at 125th Street. I think that's the last time I saw you. That was a minute ago. But yeah, bro, man, it's good to see you in the chat. It's good to hear from you. But yeah, come through next week. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna end it. All right, man. Shout out TWT, the family. Appreciate everybody that came through. We'll see y'all next week. Maybe earlier, who knows? And go Seahawks.
Peace.
All right, guys.
Peace.